Hey everybody, it's Ed, and the future is now, and the future is 2025. I wanted to do a quick video about the top 10 big ramps for Tesla in 2025 and why it's so important that you understand these. Number 10 in order of importance down to number 1. Grok is number 10. Grok going into the Tesla cars is going to be massive. When people can just talk to their cars, talk to their Teslas, I should say, and just tell it where to go, what to do, ask it questions. This opens up a big dimension for Tesla and basically separates them from other car companies. That's something that people are not really thinking, but this is going to happen this year. Number 9, the Semi is getting ramped up this year to actual production levels. I mean, these vehicles are very expensive. It's going to make a huge impact. I mean, not a huge impact, but it's going to make a good impact on Tesla as a whole. And they need to get this ramped up now that they have batteries that they can get these things cruising with. So I think that's a big factor, and that's industry, commercial use. So all of this is good. The more of these on the road, the safer the roads are going to be as well. There's so many reasons to be very bullish when it comes to the Semi. Number 8 is the ramp of FSD V13. When I say ramp, it's massively ramping up all the data. And here's how it works. Okay, FSD V13 is being used much more than V12 and way more than V11. Now, these being used more and more let it get better faster and faster. So now it's finally taking an exponential curve. I've been testing FSD since the beginning, and I watch all the videos of AI Driver, Holmars, Omar, Dirty Tesla, Chuck Cook, pretty much everyone out there. And I'm leaving a bunch of you guys out of there, but I watch all of them, everything I can get a hold of. And I'm testing the V13 on the Cybertruck as well, and I have V12 still on my Model 3. But it's ramping up, and this is super significant. From my impressions, I think, in my opinion, I think it'll probably get to 10 to 50 times better than a human by the end of the year. Hopefully, I'd be happy. I would love it if we're at 100 times safer than a human. But the bottom line is it's going to get better and better forever until there's eventually zero accidents. So V13 is huge. Number 7 is the lower end Tesla models. Okay, and I understand what they're trying to do is they're trying to kind of fill a gap maybe between the Cybercab and the Model 3 at 40,000. Again, in my opinion, I think that these vehicles will come in somewhere between 32 and 35. I think they'll be pretty strict to those type of prices. And I think that's also going to have a big impact on, obviously customers wanting to buy them, but maybe 40,000 is a little too expensive for a Model 3, and then you add other upgrades or FSD or whatever, all of a sudden a Model 3 becomes 50 grand. So it's important, and they are talking about it. It's very hidden right now, so we don't know much about it, so I'm not going to talk much about it, but it's definitely going to start ramping this year. Number 6 is they're ramping the Cybertruck, not just the high-end model, not even the 79.9 model, but they'll probably start ramping up the $60,000 model, which is an unbelievable deal for that vehicle. It's going to open up another category of buyers to buy the vehicle. Now, I don't know if they're going to profit on the thing or not, and I'm not really too concerned about that. They're already doing well with the Cybertruck. So it's just another facility for movement in Tesla and the company. So the Cybertruck is huge. Number 5 is the Tesla Megapack factory in Shanghai, ramping up. That is, people sleep on energy constantly, but energy is the one thing that will probably continue growing infinitely. And Tesla's going to have a big part of that with the Megapack. And a new factory is going to be big for them. They can deploy those Megapacks all over the place from that area. So from Shanghai, they can go anywhere for those Megapacks. So it opens up another ramp that's going to mean business for Tesla. That's another positive for the ramping of all the Tesla features and operations this year. Number 4 is the new Tesla Model Y in China, potentially in Europe soon at Giga Berlin, and potentially in the US fairly soon, if I'm understanding how Tesla does things, which is fast. Now, first of all, they didn't really need to do anything, honestly. They didn't even need to make this vehicle. They literally had the best-selling vehicle in the world for 2 years in a row, and they just made it better. More efficient, more range, more features, whatever. Okay? Whether you like the style or not, that's not really important. It's going to dominate. Supposedly 50,000 orders in the first day. I'm not sure I can verify that. I don't know if that's true, but that's a massive sign for selling a ton of these vehicles. So that is massive for this year as far as, keeping the company going in the right direction when it comes to the financials. Big time. Now, number 3. Let me see if you guys might be able to guess this one before I tell you. And it's not what you think exactly. Number 3 is the ramping of the robotaxi regulations nationwide. Okay? This has to be done. It has to be done quick. They probably already have a lot of this laid out, but this is going to be the biggest catalyst for people to wake up and see, oh my gosh, this is really happening. When the regulations, even they start talking about regulations, it may move the stock. If they talk about completing or almost done, or that they've figured out the framework for it, it can potentially move the stock. But once the regulations officially go into place, I can see a 20% move almost instantly. And if you are short, God help you at that point, because it's going to be brutal. Face ripville. Number 2 is one of my favorites. It's ramping up the actual robotaxi network. Okay, I've been studying this for a long time, and it's the biggest obstacle, okay, beyond number 3, which is the regulations, is ramping it up and making sure the system is working. They have all the apps in place, all the laws, everything they need, all the infrastructure to make this happen. This is what they're going to be working on this year. It's critical. All of these components come together at once. So I've currently been working on a model for the robotaxi customer, essentially not the rider, the actual owners of the vehicle, how they can benefit potentially. Not how Tesla's going to benefit. Tesla is going to crush it. Okay, it's not about that. They're going to have so many cars out there making so much money, it's going to be ridiculous. So I don't really care. I know what's going to happen on their end. My concern is on the end of the owners of all these vehicles and how they can benefit, and how I can show them how they can benefit, and being reasonable about the income, the expenses, loan payments, insurance, electricity, tires, maintenance, cleaning, FSD subscriptions, registration. So it's important, and I'm going to continually working on that. If anybody ever wants that, they can they can get it from me, and on X or on YouTube. Also, you can join us on X at Spaces, hosted by Alex and FSD Unsupervised and Triangle, and I'll also be there as often as I can. And these guys are starting a space, and this space is going to involve, it's called the Cyber Lounge, and we are going to be talking about a lot of great things when it comes to the future. This is the future of what's happening with Tesla, what's happening with SpaceX, what's happening just around the world in general. And join us every Saturday. We'll probably do things on Friday as well. Get in touch with Alex, and he'll let you know what's going on. We're finally down to number one. Number one should be obvious to everybody unless you're sleeping under a rock somewhere. Okay, the Optimus ramp. Okay, 1 to 5,000 units ramping this year in Tesla factories. That may seem so insignificant to most people, but the fact is they're starting to ramp the most significant product in history ever. Okay, that's super important to think about. It's way more than the iPhone sales. Look at Apple. Are they a big company? Pretty big. Okay, into the trillions, multi-trillion-dollar company Apple. Why? Because they sell hundreds of millions of phones. How many robots are going to be sold worldwide? And I'm not just talking Optimus. There's companies scrambling right now to keep up with this. Tesla has a manufacturing edge. They have the AI. Okay, they have FSD. If FSD is a robot, essentially in a car, I don't think it's that hard to translate that robot into a metal skeleton. So this ramp really matters. And Elon also was talking about ramping up next year to 50,000 potentially, and to 500,000 by 2027. By 2035, I would estimate anywhere between 50 to 100 million robots produced by Tesla. I could be wrong, but I'm putting that out because that's what I think they'll be at that point, because it's so much easier, so much less materials in a robot. So this ramp is huge, and people aren't even giving it, they're not even putting any value yet. Even ARK isn't valuing, ARK Investment, and Kathy Wood is not in valuing any of the Optimus yet. And she's talking about 2,600 by 2027 just on the robotaxi alone. We are in an epic change in the world right now. We're going not from horses to automobiles. We're going from automobiles to autonomous vehicles. That is a massive change. We're literally going to change how the whole world moves around, and Tesla is leading this. So that's number one, and I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and like I said, come to the Cyber Lounge, and you join us with the spaces, ask questions, and get involved. Find out what's really going on, because most people are asleep, and everybody needs to wake up to this. The future is now.